Hello, welcome everyone to the sixth round of Season 15 here in Division 2. We are at the Jeddah Corniche circuit for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. 16 car grid, Fortin Knights race, Phantom Fox still on his way, so should be up to 17. Jonathan was supposed to show up today, but as of now, I'm on my own. We'll see if he makes it at some point during qualifying or the race. Until then, I'll be taking you through tonight's action alone. As always, I'll do my best to put on as good a show as possible, and I think the drivers will be doing the same thing. Saudi Arabia, a track that I think always delivers in league racing. It is quite simply, in terms of the spectacle, I would say, one of the best tracks in the game. I mean, it's so difficult for the driver to get it right. Close walls, high speed, overtaking opportunities. This track well and truly has everything in terms of what you need to have an exciting race. And paired it up with a division like F1 Total Division 2, which I cannot remember the last time I sat here and was bored commentating Division 2, so yeah, that should be a recipe for some absolutely lovely racing and yeah, maybe another twist in our championship fight. The current situation is that Sully looks pretty comfortable at the front. Well, for Division 2 standards it is. He is currently leading the standings by 25 points over Sean Mull. Sully is on 90 points, Sean on 65, and then we have Gabri on 55 in third place. Following that is Viral in fourth place on 43 points, which is 47 behind Sully, and then Edwin in fifth on 39 points, which is 51 behind Sully. So it's going to be a tough ask for anyone to catch back up to Sully, but it's definitely still within the realms of possibility that, especially someone like Sean or Gabri, they're not that far away, that they can still fight back in this title fight. Of course, we are only halfway through the season. Well, we are at the halfway point of the season, I should say, with today being the 6th race of 12. The first car on a hot lap, I believe, is the Williams of Pix. Or it could be Flavors, actually. It is Flavors. As Pix... oh, I just went off his camera and then he crashes immediately. You can see him down the left-hand side in the barrier, so he has spun going into the S section, and that is the end of Pix's qualifying before it has even really started. We'll go aboard with Flavors here for his lap. Of course, no lap time set. He's currently in P2, which I'm not actually sure how that's determined on the F1 game, but well, he will take P1 once it comes in line. The DRS enabled now, so we go over the second of the two DRS straights. This one really isn't that great of an overtaking opportunity. One, because of this corner right here. You don't really want to be going side through there. It's high speed, very short braking zone, very tight. And there's no point overtaking through there, because right here is another long DRS zone coming up into this final corner to happen. I think the longest braking zone on the track, maybe the turn 1 chicane is longer. It's close. And yeah, and of course you also have the main straight right here after that as well, which is a great overtaking opportunity. The first lap of the session, Flavors a 1:29.203. He's followed by the two McLarens, Action Rig and Owise. Very close together here as they finish their laps. Action Rig puts in a 31.3 and Owise a 29.1 as Owise takes provisional pole position. Edwin, up to the line, puts in a 28.177, a full second faster than Owise. And that is the new provisional pole time. We are currently on board with the Ferrari of Gabri. Bombolino goes second place, 28.516. You can see a Williams come up to the line, I believe that is. So that would be Sean. Well, maybe we're starting that, I'm not sure. Then we have the two Saubers in Viral and Aussie 3 also up to the line ahead of Gabri. Aussie 3 fifth place and Viral not actually complete the lap. Gabri 28.351, not quite fast enough to beat Edwin as Phantom Fox joins the lobby. Perfect timing there. Next car across the line will be once again Flavors, who isn't on a lap, then Action Brake and Owise, who both just did the lap, so they will also not be pushing. And then we have Sully. No, we have Edwin, but behind that is Sully. So there we go. Sully is the one who is closest to finishing an actual hot lap. Our championship leader. Van der Fox now having taken control of this car. Staying in 7th gear. No, does go out to 6th. And there's Edwin up ahead, letting his teammate pass. Sully having a clear run all the way to the hairpin, braking at about the 100 meter board. 3rd gear, gets the car rotating really nicely, and onto the power he goes. The gear is open, down to the line. That is a 128.329, and we have an Aston Martin 1-2, as Sully takes 2nd place behind his teammate. Gabriel moved down to 3rd place. John Moole over the line, a 28.816, that's 5th place. And we have DC Ryle coming up the line as well, right behind the Mercedes of Piscivoli, I believe, that is starting it up. Ryle going 8th place, 28.2938 for 9th for the 2 Kick-Saubers right now. Chuko coming up to the line. And that is a 129.031, 6th place. Piscivoli, his first race as a main driver, as he's taken over the Mercedes spot of Top Dog, who dropped to reserve for the rest of the season. Kuku also, that's his first race as a reserve driver. He gave up his V-Cup seat, I think, after Zandvoort. And now he's back. He's replacing Charlie for today. So he's back in his old team, essentially. See really nicely, very close to the barriers there. Very much on the edge of grip as well. You can see the car sliding that little bit. Maybe a bit of time loss, but certainly not the end of the world in terms of disqualifying up. 10.9 for the middle sector. Absolutely sending it as we go down towards the final corner. You see Willie in the Mercedes. Of course, currently in 12th place. He hasn't put a lap in. This is his first one of the session. Taps the barrier on the inside line. That very much ruined his exit. And down to the line, that is a 128.453. Despite the mistake in the final corner, Piscivoli goes into 4th place. And there is for sure some potential gain in that lap at the final corner. And maybe somewhere else as well. I didn't see the whole lap, of course. With that, I think currently there is no one on a hot lap. Kuku might be able to start another one on the same set of tires. So it's going to be tough for him to improve. Marcello invalidated his one. And then Piscivoli just finished one. So I suppose we can watch Kuku. 9.5 minutes to go in qualifying here. All the way down to 3rd gear for the entry into the S section. You can definitely tell the soft tires on Kuku's car are quite bad at this point. Almost 2 tenths down in the first sector. 3rd gear for the long right hand. A bit of a slide in the exit. He gets it corrected, but a lot of the momentum coming out of the corner was lost right there. Another slide coming onto the DRS straight. Some overtake mode used. DRS enabled. I don't think we'll be seeing much of an improvement from Kuku here. Yeah, he's down by 3.5 tenths. This is definitely not going to be the lap for him. He's got Bobo Dinho up ahead, letting him pass. He stops on the inside line there. And Kuku, is he going to finish the lap? No, he goes back to the pit lane instead. Bobo Dinho on his 2nd lap of the session. His bank was a 28.516, which put him into 5th position, right behind his teammate Piscivoli. Half a tenth separating 2 Mercedes cars. We'll see how Bobo Dinho does on this lap, and if he can move up the grid. section looked really clean. And that should be a bit of a gain in the first sector. Indeed. Almost 2/10 gain in the first sector, in fact. So Bobodinho already on for a low 0.3. Third position looks possible, and we'll see what more he can gain. Edwin and Gabri also both on laps. So 3 of the top 5 currently out on track doing hot laps. Sully on the out lap, he's here just back in the pit lane. Bobodinho still up by almost 2/10 now in the middle sector. So he pretty much matched what he did before. Quite low on ERS, so that could cost him a bit coming down towards the line here. Of course, it all depends on how he did on the ERS last time around. Whether this will actually lose him time to Delta. And he's run out of deployment here as we go up to the line using none mode up until the line, and that cost him quite a bit of time. 28.445. He does improve in the end, but not by as much as he was improving in the middle sector. Edwin hasn't validated, Gabri abandoned his lap. Sully, he's on another push lap. And we go through the first sector here. And he abandons the lap as well. What about Sean Moore? Currently in 6th place. 28.816. About 4/10 behind the next car, so a pretty big gap from the top 5 to everybody else in this session. Let's see if Sean can change that. And that is a 32.196 in the first sector. 1.5 gain for Sean. A good start in the lap as Flavors jumps into 7th place at 28.964. Sean Moon not taking the curb here. Staying off it for better traction. Quite low on ERS already as well, and he still has 2 DRS straight to go. 3.5 gained in the middle sector. Sean with a brilliant lap so far, but can he bring it across the line? We saw Bobodinho earlier as well with similar amounts of ERS, and he lost loads of time in these final 2 straights. I think Sean might be about to experience a similar issue here. And Sean Moore up to the line. That is a 128.403. Jumps all the way into 4th place, jumping both Mercedes drivers. A great lap from Sean, moving himself far up the grid there. Outside of that, Marcelio on a hot lap, Sindra on a hot lap. Rival on a in lap, I think. Solias Bindit coming out of the S section. Yellow flag only being put out right when he rejoins the track. Thank you for that one, FIA, that's very realistic. Cujo, 2.5 down on his previous best. So no improvement coming here. Sidra isn't validated. Marcelio, no lap time set yet, currently sitting in 14th position. 101.982, goes a bit deep. And a moment of Ostia as well on the exit as we go into the last straight down towards the last corner of the lap. And a Red Bull driver. How far up the field can he go? He's run out of ERS as we approach the line. Of course, the ERS still open. That is a 1:30.384, 13th position. Exactly a second faster than Action Rig. Sully, is he gonna go again or go back to the pit lane? Back to the pit lane it is. 3.5 minutes to go for Sully. Can he get one more lap in? I think he will. And the same for Sean. But they are a bit close on time, so they're gonna have to hurry up. Marcelio, I think he's doing a lap straight after here. But that S section did not look promising. And indeed, he is half a second down on his previous best. Apart from that, Cuckoo is out on track, but he invalidated. And he's out of fuel as well, so that's for sure the end of Cuckoo's qualifying. He will not make it back around for another lap. So the 28.953 will not be improved upon. We've got Lanky Brown on an outlap. Gabri, coming up to the line already, so he has come out the pits a lot earlier than others. Two and a half minutes to go. Everyone who's still in the pit lane needs to come out at this point. They're cutting it a bit short here, a bit late. Hopefully for Garby, he doesn't get much traffic come out the pits now, right as he starts his lap, but I think he's gotten lucky there. Into turn 1, doesn't take much on the curb on the inside. Can cut that corner quite a bit, but of course it's risky with invalidations. So Garby playing it safe. Got 4th gear for the entry into the S section. And now does he keep it flat? Through here, yes. Also flat. Little lift through here, you would think? No, flat! Okay, Garby has some insanely high wings, it would seem. Or maybe he's just better than me, who knows. 2 tenths up on his sector 1 time. So Garby, with a shot at pole position here, against the 2 Aston Martins. So far the lap has been really, really good. I didn't see any mistakes either in the second sector here as we are coming up to the end of it, and we can see another delta. And he is still up by 2 tenths. And a really, really nice entry onto the 3rd DRS straight of the lap. Bazooka coming up ahead of him. Bit of a slipstream here as well from his teammate. And I think that could now be pole position for Garby if he just gets this final corner right. Braking at 100 meters, goes a bit deep, bit of a lock-up, gets the car rotated onto a later apex actually. And that worked out really nicely for him. Down to the line he goes, and for Garby, that is a 1:27.923. And unless Edwin or Sully, or maybe someone else, can pull something out of the bag later on here, that should be pole position for Garby. That is one hell of a lap. So, is anyone gonna be able to improve on the laps by enough to steal pole position away from Garby here? We've got Lanky Brown coming to the end of the lap, but he's on non-ERS, so he has abandoned the lap at some point and is going to try again the lap after. Closest to finishing a competitive lap is Aussie Drive, who invalidated, and then DC Rival also invalidated. Owa is currently in 10th place. The 2 Mercedes cars are also on hot laps as well, both having just started theirs, and Piscioli crashes as he enters the S section, and he's stopped at the worst possible spot here, just on the exit of the corner, with his teammate coming up. Hopefully that car goes, and that for sure cost Bobolini a bit of time there. Piscioli ending his qualifying with a crash, and he will not improve on the 28.453. Thankfully for him he's a 5/10 gap behind, so I think he is going to stay in P6, but of course no chance to move any higher than that now. Always coming to the line, as Flavors has crashed as well, so he will not improve on his time. Sean Moon is up by, oh no, it's at 4 tenths, but no, 55 thousandths down. Always jumping to 7th place, 28.700. Sully tapping the barrier on the inside here. Edwin right behind the 2 Aston Martins. Went out the pits together. We'll see Sully first as he approaches the end of Sector 2. He is down on his previous best, and so is Edwin. Both Aston Martins not improving. What about Sean? He's also down on his previous best. But look at the absolute centrum, they're staking it in 7th gear, but I think that actually cost him a bit of time, if anything. Bobolino up to the line, 28.445, the previous best. And let's see, Dia is enabled. And down to the line, that's a 28.344. He jumps Sean. Neither Edwin nor Sully will be improving. Sean down to the line, can he improve? He cannot! Lanky Brown, the last one still going then, and he crosses the line with a 1:30.382, and that is qualifying officially done here in Saudi Arabia, and it is Garby on pole position, a 27.923 for the Ferrari driver, followed by the 2 Aston Martins right behind him. Edwin 28.177, and then Sully 28.329. Following that, we have the first of the Mercedes drivers in Bobolino, 28.344, with Sean in 5th place, 28.403. Piscioli in 6th, 28.453, then Always in 7th, 28.7. Kuku in 8th, the last one, the 120. No, sorry, Flavors, the last one, the 128, in 9th. Then DC Rival and Bazooka in 10th and 11th. Aussie Dry in 12th, right behind his teammate Lanky Brown 13th, Fasenio 14th. Only 2,000 separating those guys. Action Vic in 15th, and Phantom Fox without a lap time in 16th, and Pix having crashed out early on in last place in 17th. And that has been qualifying for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Now we can load onto the grid. The drivers can adjust their strategies, put on their fuel loads, maybe make some last minute changes to what they can still change on the Park May, the brake bias, the tire pressures, the front wing. And then we are ready to go for 25 laps of this very treacherous street circuit. When it was introduced, it was the fastest street circuit on the calendar. I'm not sure if it still is. Vegas might be faster, purely because there's just that one straight, which is stupidly long. I have to check, but I think it might still be, because the track is, like, all the corners are so high speed as well. I haven't done, once again, I said last week, a better commentator would have done their research on this. I have not. So ignore me when I just talk about things that I do not actually know about. What I do know, though, is that we will have one hell of a race coming up here. We saw quite a few crashes early on in qualifying, or late on in qualifying, just in qualifying in general. And I don't think it'll be the last we see today. But for now, the 5 lights are on. Gabriel on the left-hand side, Edwin on the right-hand side. Who's going to lead into turn 1? It looks like Edwin got away pretty well. Gabriel covers off the middle of the track and stays ahead into turn 1. Few cars coming off in the background. I think always from the McLaren. Sean gets a 3-second fine penalty for corner cutting, as Gabriel still leads the race, followed by Edwin and Sully. No changes at the front, but a lot of squabbling going on behind them. Arsenio coming off the track, and he drops to last place as he has to make sure he doesn't rejoin unsafely. Sean Moore gets a 10-second penalty for corner cutting and gaining a place, and he has front wing damage, and he got a 3-second penalty for corner cutting already. Oh, Sean Moore's race is very much down the drain, as we are only halfway through lap 1 here. 13 seconds of penalties and wing damage, and he's being passed by Kuko and Pisciroli now as well, maybe. They've also already lost out on the to the top 4, as Bobodinho makes a move on Sully. Or does he? He does, yes. Bobodinho takes the final spot on the podium, as we see Pisciroli practically pushing Sean here. He needs to get around him. Of course, Sean with that bit of damage, it's going to be quite a bit slower. And look at that in the behind. It was always Phantom Fox and Bazooka, I think, 3 wide. Absolutely beautiful stuff here in the opening lap of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Pisciroli has a little look up the inside of Sean. Sean leaves him the space. Pisciroli can't fully get alongside at any point, really. And on the exit, Sean with the outside line, of course. A much better exit. Pisciroli's going to try again into turn 1, now into the chicane. He has the inside line for the first part, and he manages to outbrake Sean. Gets ahead. Sean has a little look at the switchback, but not happening. Pisciroli claims 6th place here. Oh, Phantom Fox having a look up the inside of Always into the S section. Always with a bit of a lock up there as well. Maybe he got nervous from that, which I think would have been the intention from Phantom Fox as well, who started on a soft compound of tires. Same for Aussie Dry. And Always goes wide in the S section. Phantom Fox slips through. DC Rival passing Sean for 9th now. Sean continuing to drop down with that wing damage. It's Always and Pix are battling. Pix goes clean around the outside. A beautiful move, as Pix takes 13th place in this race. Meanwhile at the front, Gabriel still leading from Edwin. DRS is now enabled, so he's very much under threat. Kuko and Pisciroli got back into DRS eventually. I'm not sure if Flavors did. He did, just about. So, is Edwin gonna go for the move on Gabriel immediately, or is he gonna just wait a bit, recharge from ERS, and then try again later? We'll have to wait and see. Although I don't think we'll have to wait for long. He's very close coming out the final corner. And I think Edwin is all set up for a move down towards turn 1 here. Edwin goes to the outside line and absolutely flies past Gabriel. Nothing the Ferrari man can do about that. Simply has to let him go. Sean Moore into the pit lane now to get that wing change, so he's given up on trying to hold on to these places he's been trying to defend. quite simply. Not Showmule's day so far, but a race like Saudi Arabia would not count him out for anything yet. One well-timed safety car for him, and he will be right back in the fight. Bobodinho is now very close behind Gabri here as well. Who is losing contact a bit to Edwin. Of course, he's well within the DRS range, so he doesn't have to really be too concerned about that. Kuku has lost out on DRS to Sully here. And that means he's very much vulnerable to Pisivoli. Oh, has he? No, he's just about staying inside, actually. But Pisivoli may have to try and get around him, because it doesn't look like Kuku can stay with the top 4 comfortably, at least. So Pisivoli may have to pass him to make sure he stays in contact to leaders. And of course you also have the risk of losing time battling. Pisivoli doesn't go for the move into the final corner. Gabri does though, up the inside of Edwin. Can't complete it, and that's killed his exit quite a bit, and now Bobodinho is maybe looking at passing them both at once here. Gabri to the outside line. Bobodinho switches to the inside with 3 wide into turn 1. Absolutely beautiful stuff, and there's contact, and Gabri is round, but he does catch it. Bobodinho takes the lead, followed by Edwin. Sully, Gabri rejoining in 4th place. Thankfully no damage on the Ferrari, but 3 places lost for him. 3 into 1 does not go. We've been here quite often. Thankfully this time without any major implications for anyone. Of course Gabri has lost a couple of positions, but on a track like Saudi Arabia, on a game like F1 24, that is not really much of an issue. He can gain those back quite easily with the DRS in this game. Of course this has allowed Pisivoli and Kuku to get a lot closer. So this 5-way battle has very much turned into a 6-way battle now. 4-way battle, sorry. Then we have DC Riot about 2.5 seconds behind, followed by Flavors and Thunderfox and Aussie Dry rounding out the top 10 on their soft compound tires. Surprised no one's gone for the hard off the start, as Pix passes Aussie for 10th. Shawn with another time penalty is now up to 6 seconds. 2 Aston Martins both having a look up the inside, sending the dummy on Bobodinho. And they could maybe try and both pass him at once down towards turn 1. And then work together as a team to secure the 1-2, we'll see. And here they come. 3 wide to turn 1 once again, but I think this time around the Aston Martins are going to clear the Mercedes before the entry to turn 1. It's Sully and, Edwin and Bobodinho battling into turn 1, but Edwin far enough ahead that he can just go clean around the outside. And we now have an Aston Martin 1-2. Sully leading from Edwin, then Bobodinho and Gabri. Pisivoli and Kuku right behind, waiting for any sort of mistake that we saw earlier once already. Oh, both Aston Martins quite far over that curb. And the way that curb works, if you get your floor stuck on it, you will simply understeer way off the track, as Gabri has a look at Bobodinho around the outside. That would be an absolutely insane move by Gabri. And they're still side by side coming out the corner. Can Gabri complete the move? Here's the inside line for the next corner, and I think that will give him the advantage he needs. Yes, Gabri back up to 3rd place. And in all of that, when I was talking, Kuku got a penalty exiting the S section. So Kuku now with 3 seconds, and we're only 5 laps in. And now Pisivoli on the back of his teammate. 4th and 5th for the Mercedes cars. Gabri in a sandwich of Mercedes engines here. He's got 2 ahead, the Aston Martins, and then 2 behind in the Mercedes cars. Whoa, and Bobodinho sends one up the inside. I think the train broke really early to happen there, which allowed Bobodinho, well, I'm not sure if it allowed him, I think it forced him to send it up the inside, because the alternative would have been to just drive straight into Gabri. Thankfully that worked out for everyone involved, and Pisivoli now with a double move to turn 1 maybe, as Bobodinho makes contact with Gabri in the braking zone. At least I think it was Bobodinho, it might have been Pisivoli. I think I might be confusing the teammates at some points here. And Gabri has lost another 2 places in that. So now both Mercedes cars are chasing both Aston Martin cars. Bobodinho ahead of Pisivoli, Sully ahead of Edwin. And Sully has almost broken DRS here. Edwin needs to put his foot down if he wants to stay in contention for the race win. 9/10 the gap now. Can Sully break the ERS here? That would be absolutely insane on a track like Saudi Arabia, with just so much just flat out. And I think he has done it, but has he done it in time for the detection point? Yes! Edwin has no longer got the ERS in his teammate. Sully has gapped the rest of the field. We have a yellow flag for Action Rig with DNF'd, and a full course safety car has been deployed. Just as Sully has broken away from the rest of the pack. And now, this is gonna throw the race upside down. Of course, everybody should pit for hard tires now to go to the end, surely. But, much more importantly, Edwin, PC Woody, Aussie... No, Aussie already pit. Okay, Edwin, PC Woody, they're gonna have to double stack behind their teammates. And that will drop him behind Gabri, behind Kuko, behind Viral, behind Flavors maybe even. So, into the pits. They all go. Sully, Edwin, Babordinho, PC Woody, Gabri, Kuko, Viral, Flavors, Pix, Phantom Fox, Bazooka, Lanky Brown. Marcelio is also in. So yeah, every single driver into the pit lane here, apart from of course the 3 at the back who had not pitted yet. Edwin with a wing change as well as the double stack behind his teammates. He's gonna drop way back. Gabri rejoins in 2nd place. So he's jumped both Mercedes cars. Did Babordinho change his wing? Because he has also lost quite a few places. So oh wow, that's so unlucky for Pisivoli. He had to wait behind his teammate who was changing his wing, and he has dropped all the way to 13th. Well, that is some properly rotten luck. And Babordinho gets a 3-second time penalty now for multiple warnings under safety car. Sean comes in as well. I'm guessing he's going to go into the hard tire so he can also go to the end of the race. Yes. So, Sully now leading from Gabri, then Kuko, DC Rival, Flavors up into 5th place, Babordinho rejoining in 6th after the pit stop, Pix in 7th, Phantom in 8th, then Edwin down in 9th, after having been 2nd place before the pit stops. Aussie 3, 6th position, Lanky Brown in 11th, Bazooka in 12th, PC really dropping all the way from 4th to 13th, Marcelio in 14th, Owais in 15th, and Sean Moore in 16th place. The only one actually not in the safety car trend at this point, so once he catches up, we can go racing again. So, quite a lot has happened already. I mean, we saw multiple 3 wide moments, and I think both times Gabri made contact with Babordinho. I believe it was Babordinho both times, but I'm not sure I've been keeping on top of things here. It's quite difficult sometimes to separate which Mercedes, which Aston Martin is which Aston Martin, you know. But yeah, in the end, we have got our 2 championship leaders. Oh well, no, we don't. We've got our championship leader in 1st, and 2nd place Sean in 16th, and then 3rd place Gabri in 2nd. So Sean could not be any further away from his rivals than he is right now. But I still think the safety car is quite good for him. It at least brings him back into the race. Of course, he does have a 6-second penalty, so for Sean, this is going to be a tough race to get any sort of result from. Running in last place, having a penalty. I think he's gonna be happy to get any points from this, and that, of course, with him already being quite a way behind Sully, could be the final nail in the coffin. Especially with Sully currently in the lead of the race, and with the pace he showed earlier, where he broke DRS to his teammate Edwin in 2nd place just before the safety car came out. He, I would say, is very much a favourite for this race win. But we saw Gabri in qualifying, taking that pole position, the only driver in the 127s. We might be in for a clash of the Titans here in Saudi Arabia. Sully and Gabri both looking incredibly strong today. They've got Kuko behind them with a 3-second time penalty. So he is not much of a threat in terms of the battle for the race win, since he would have to actually get ahead and then break out of the ERS and build a 3-second gap. Of course that is possible, but quite a tough ask. So, Sean Moon is caught up, the safety car should be called in this lap. And Sully can then take control of the pace and decide when the race is restarted. There we go, safety car has been called in. And now Sully becomes the effective safety car, he can slow the pack down. Of course, no overtaking until the start-finish line. Safety car on its way back to the pit lane, and once it's in the pit lane, Sully can safely go. Of course, he can go earlier as well, but he does run the risk of running into it and the game forcing him to slow down, which could cause a massive crash. Safety car is now in the pit. I'll hide the UI so we can actually see the cars on the left-hand side there. Sully approaching the final corner. When is he going to decide to go? So he comes to the final corner. He's still not gone just yet. And the crash! Kuko has crashed! Kuko has crashed coming out the final corner. And he's caused absolute chaos. There are penalties for Edwin and Lanky Brown. Sully is restarted the race. Edwin is up into third place there, but he does have major front wing damage. I think Kuko has caused complete carnage there with the crash in the final corner. Sully and Gabri can count themselves so unbelievably lucky that they got away from all of that nonsense. And we've got a yellow flag in behind. And there could be further carnage here. Of course, Edwin with that massive wing damage is going to be a moving chicane here in the S section. And it's not the only one. Phantom Fox with a bit of damage as well. Quite a bit of damage actually. Both sides of the front wing completely destroyed. And he's going to drop so far towards the back here of the pack. And look at that. It is complete carnage in the midfield. Bazooka and Sean side by side all the way up the hill here, and now down towards the... Whoa, they make contact! And they make contact again, and Bazooka is into the wall! Crashing on a straight there, and Bazooka pays a heavy price. His front wing in pieces, and he drops to 15th place. Flavors running in third place during all of this. Bombardino chasing him for the final spot in the podium. Then Viral, Edwin, Aussie, and Lanky Brown. Sean, PC really rounding out the top 10 now. Sean goes for the move on Lanky Brown on the outside line. We'll have to wait and see who's actually going to pit and use lap as Gabri and Sully are battling onto the main straight here. The Aston Martin and the Ferrari now in a world of their own. In the background you can see Bombardino battling with Flavors as well. Gabri has to look up the outside, but not to beat this lap around. Bombardino takes third place away from Flavors. Especially when he makes moves on Sean and Lanky, he's up to it. Oh, sorry, 8. Pit stops for Phantom, Pix and Bazooka. Edwin did not pit despite his massive damage. I mean, if you get a good like off-board shot here, but the game is refusing right now, I can actually see what exactly damage is, but it looked quite bad earlier. Codemasters, please. There we go. So yeah, on the front right side there is effectively nothing. Like, there's no winglets anymore. There's just the piece of carbon right in the front of the wing. So quite a bit of damage for Edwin. Gabri going for the move on Sully into the fast left-hander here. He completes it, but he's just given Sully the air for the next straight, right? Yeah, he has, and well, it worked out. They haven't crashed, but quite a risky maneuver for Gabri. And Sully is in position to just reclaim the lead immediately, is he? Up the inside into the final corner. No, backs out of it. There's more movement going on behind. Piccioli passing Aussie for 7th. Sully re-overtaking Gabri down towards turn 1 with the DRS. It's on the outside line. Gabri is trying everything to keep onto this position, but he has to back out down towards turn 1. Sully takes lead of the race. Edwin now into the pits. A lap later than anybody else. He has abandoned once again, I think for the second time this race, one of the championship contenders staying out a lap longer with wing damage, trying to hold on to places. Earlier it was Sean, now it's Edwin. And Sean is already up in the 7th place. Of course, we started this race in last. And Edwin with a wing change and a change onto mediums. He's going to rejoin behind Pix, maybe even behind Bazooka. So those guys in the back, Kuko, Phantom, Pix, Edwin, Bazooka, they're going to be praying for another safety car to get themselves back into this race. But at this point, I think they've used both of their mediums and their hard tires, so actually, they're kind of screwed. They don't have any more tires available, fresh tires, apart from the softs maybe. But of course, it's way too early to think about running softs to the end. So they're gonna need quite a late safety car. At which point, of course, they won't have much time to make overtakes. So yeah, quite a bad situation to be in for those 5 guys at the back. Gabri now around the outside of Sully into the final corner. Reclaims the lead. Sully maybe setting up for a attack down towards turn 1 though. Diaz enabled for the Aston Martin. Gabri covering the right hand side of the track. Sully goes to the inside line. Outbreaks the Ferrari and reclaims pole position? The lead of the race. The chasing pack, Bobolinho, Flavors, rival Pisivoli. No, sorry, Pisivoli is battling Sean for 6th right now. Penalty for Ossie. 3 seconds, multiple warnings as Lanky Brown gets ahead of him, up into 8th. Flavors has lost out on DRS. To Bobolinho up ahead. He also has a bit of front wing damage there. Front right end plate is missing. And he's got the salvo of DC Rival right behind him. The leaders, once again, they cannot be separated, Gabri and Sully. That gap is staying at about 3/10 no matter who's leading. Just enough to keep a sort of respect distance to make sure you are far enough away from the car ahead that if they make a mistake you have at least some time to react, but very much close enough that you can overtake them if needed. And both drivers seem to be on absolutely equal pace here. Doesn't matter who is ahead, they're not pulling away, and it doesn't matter who's behind. They don't fall away. Gabri opts out of the move into the final corner. Maybe he can now take the lead in turn 1. He's got quite a bit of ERS here. If he plays his cards right, he can use that to slingshot past Sully and try and build a gap. But he needs quite a big ERS advantage, which he does actually have. Sully cannot hold on to the lead into turn 1. Sully has about 50% ERS, Gabri has about 90. This could be Gabri's chance as Ryro picks up a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. What was I saying? This could be Gabri's chance to try and gap Sully a bit. Although he's not really using it right now, he's keeping the ERS on medium. Bobolinho in behind is gaining though. It may not be a two-way battle for too much longer. Bobolinho is getting closer and closer to the back of Sully. So we have a gap. We had a gap of about 4 seconds, I think, at some point between Sully, Gabri and 3rd place. But it looks very much on for a 3-way fight between Bobolinho, Sully and Gabri. Of course, we've got a 3-second time penalty for Bobolinho, 20 seconds for Lanky Brown. I'm gonna guess that's from the safety car restart. So, potentially removable. Pisivoli on the back of Sean here in the battle for 6th. Pisivoli actually the first car behind Gabri and Sully without a penalty. Quite a few penalties all throughout the grid here. No move from Pisivoli on Sean. Gabri almost got Sully out of the ERS range. If he can keep this pace up, I think Sully may have to give up eventually. I talked earlier that they're very early on pace, very early what? That they're very similar on pace. But Gabri looks to have the advantage right now. Of course, Sully broke the DRS to the rest of the field earlier, but also with Edwin in 2nd place and Gabri a bit further down as he was getting into a couple of incidents. And we have a crash! Sean! With a crash heading to the S section and another full course safety car. We'll see if you can see Sean here as we are on both otherwise. Yes, he is crashed just on the entry to the S section. The same corner as earlier, claiming another victim. You can see that wall on the inside line, just on the apex. You're gonna get so close to that at about, what, 150 kph, I think, in race speed. And if you get it wrong, that's your race over immediately. Because of course, if you clip a barrier at that speed, with a direct impact from the tire, yeah, that tire is gone. And that is how your race can end in one moment, and Sean, he had made his way quite far back up the field after dropping to last place, and now he's in the barriers, and that's his race over. 11 laps to go in this Grand Prix. And the second safety car. We'll see if the guys in the front decide to pit or if they want to keep the track position. So, Gabriel, he's the first one. He has to make a tough choice here. I think in this position I would pit onto mediums. And Gabriel does do so. And so does Sully. Boldinho chooses to stay out. Viral chooses to come in. Flavors in, Piscivoli in. And it is mediums for most of these guys. Lanky Brown staying out. Always coming in. Marcello coming in. Ossi 3 coming in. Gabriel's gonna rejoin the race in third place. Second place even. With Lanky Brown right between Gabriel and Sully. This has worked out very well for Gabriel. If he can use Lanky Brown as a buffer between himself and Sully, if he can pass Boldinho quickly, he could maybe get away from Sully, because of course that's who he's fighting for this race win. Boldinho and Lanky Brown, with much older tires, are not gonna have much of a chance. He could use this to gap Sully. And there we go. The order has been re-established. Boldinho leads the race on old hards, followed by Gabriel on fresh mediums, Lanky Brown on old hards. Then Sully, Viral, Flavors, Piscivoli all on new mediums, Kuka on old hards, Marcello on new mediums, Pix on old mediums, rounding out the top 10. Edwin on old mediums in 11th. Then Owise and Ossi 3 on fresh mediums in 12th and 13th. Bazooka on old mediums in 14th, and Phantom Fox in 15th, last place on fresh mediums. So the safety car should be in at the end of this lap, and then we can get back underway for hopefully the last time in this race. Bazooka is into the pit lane now. Let's see what he goes on to. That is some fresh softs for Bazooka. Gonna be quite a long soft stint, but of course with him being on old mediums, I think it's worth the risk. He only loses to one place in Phantom Fox. Might as well risk it if you are on a bad tire anyway. So, Boldinho, on those old hards, is going to have a very, very tough time trying to hold on to the lead of the race, I think. Gabriel needs to get past him as soon as he possibly can, so he can build the gap to Sully, who himself needs to get past Lanky Brown as early as possible to make sure that Gabriel cannot get away. And in turn, of course, he needs to make sure that when Gabriel gets Boldinho, he also follows through as soon as possible. Following that, Piscivoli in 7th, he is the next car without a penalty. An outside shot at the win, but he for that needs to get around Flavors, around Rival, around Lanky Brown, and Boldinho, and then also, of course, actually battle Sully and Gabriel. So, 9 laps to go in this race, 1 lap 16 of 25. Safety car's been called in. The cars are approaching the final corner. Bobodinho conducting the restart, followed by Gabri, Lanky Brown, and Sully. Let's see what Bobodinho decides to go. Coming out the final corner, he's accelerated, and here we go. The race has been restarted, and Gabri, with a massive gap in behind to Lanky Brown. But is he close enough to Bobodinho to make a move happen to turn 1? He's going to use the overtake. Is he going to send up the inside? Yes, he is. There comes Gabri. And, oh, there's contact. Gabri almost gets spun around. And Sully is going to claim second place, is he? And Flavors is round. Flavors goes into the barrier. Gabri and Sully inside each other into the S section. Their ghosting system being fully abused. And Sully comes on ahead. Sully up in the second place as he jumped Lanky Brown to turn 1. Gabri tried to send it on Bobodinho. Locked up into turn 1. They made contact and Gabri almost got spun around. Thankfully for him, he did manage to save it. But he has dropped behind Sully. As Rival now goes for a move on Lanky Brown. Piscivoli trying to follow through around the outside. Piscivoli sending it all the way around the outside. He wasn't even alongside in the braking zone, but he has pulled it off, has he? I think he has a beautiful move, yes, by Piscivoli. And he moves up into 5th place. Only one car now separating him from Gabri and Sully and DC Rival. But Rival himself, of course, on the fresh mediums. He has a good chance of staying close to Gabri and Sully, which is helping Piscivoli in some way, but another way, of course, also hurting him, because it means he's much more difficult to overtake. As Kukunda gets past Lanky Brown as well, he moves up into 6th place. Sully and Gabri are going to need to get around Bobodinho soon. And pendulum is very much in favor of Sully. We were talking about Gabri using Bobodinho as a buffer, and using Lanky Brown as a buffer, and now Sully has taken the lead of the race. If he can stay ahead of Bobodinho here, while Gabri can't pass him, that would be perfect for Sully, but it looks like Gabri has got the opportunity. Bobodinho actually re-overtaking Sully down towards turn 1 here on the inside line, but he has to brake a little bit earlier on those old hard tires. And we've got another safety car. Another safety car as Bazooka has crashed with, well, somewhere, but he's lost the entire front wing. And we've got another full course safety car after just one lap of racing. Bazooka getting a new front wing and some mediums. And I think they'll be used, since he already used both his mediums earlier. They are... Do I get to see? Game, please? Or is it softs? It was showing mediums when he changed onto them. Oh no, he's got new softs, okay. And he gets a 10-second penalty for exceeding track limits? What? In the pit exit? Wait, incidents? Oh, there's a lot. Exceeded track limits, 10-second penalty, damn. Ignoring yellow flags. Oh, Lanky Brown got 2 10-second penalties for ignoring yellows. Edwin got 10 seconds for ignoring yellows. That would have been when Cuckoo spun on the restart. Apart from that, it's all just track limits penalties. Sean got 10 seconds for corner cutting in the first corner of the race, and he gained a place from that apparently. But he's out, so that penalty is yesterday's news. So, we'll see if Bobodinho decides to pit this time. If Sully decides to pit, he doesn't. Bobodinho is in though. That alert is going to go straight into the barrier, but with just a bit of lag. So, Bobodinho in, onto some soft compound tires, and he's not the only one who's in the pits. Kuko, Pix, Edwin. Now Flavors as well. All coming in to put on some softs. As DC Brown and Marcelio are swapping places, they seem to be not in agreement about who deserves to be ahead here. What is going on? Guys? What are we doing? What am I watching? Just what am I watching? But I think they're sorting it out now. Are they in the order they were in before? Let me check. Because that's a nice thing about having a stream. So, beforehand it was... Wait, that's like 5 minutes ago. I need like 40 seconds ago maybe. So, beforehand, it was Sully, Gabri, Piscioli, Rival, Marcenio, Lanky, Phantom, Ossi, Kuko. Oh, well, okay, after always was pit stop, so... Yeah, this lines up, it's fine. So I guess there was a bit of a gang glitch there with illegal overtakes on the safety car, but thankfully it all got sorted out. The drivers sorted it themselves without any, well, with quite a bit of chaos, but thankfully no damage, there's no lasting impact on the race, since they can just catch back up in the safety car. So I'm not sure if I would call that well handled, considering they were stopping in the air section, but it worked out in the end. Of course, it's always a shitty situation when you're in a safety car and you get a wrong illegal overtake on someone. Then you have to hope that the other driver, like, is sporting enough to give it back. And in the same way that the game doesn't just keep giving you an illegal overtake for overtaking someone who had an illegal overtake on you, which the game definitely likes to do. But yeah, eventually it worked out. Bazooka is back in the pits, serving a penalty. Of course, he got a penalty on the pit exit for some reason. So he's gonna serve that, put on some new softs, since you can't actually do a pit stop on this game without changing the tire, and then rejoin the race. Well, the longer we spend behind the safety car, the better you would think for Sully. Less laps that he has to defend. But we are, I think, in a quite an interesting situation here. We've got Sully, Gabri and Piscioli in the top 3 with no penalties. They are fighting for the race win. Then Rival in 4th, he has a 3-second penalty, I think. Yep. Followed by Marcelino, who's got no penalties in 5th. Then we have Lanky Brown on the old hards with 20 seconds of penalties. I'm gonna guess those are removable. So he's gonna try and hold on to as many places as he possibly can. He will most likely drop to last place on the day. But if those penalties can get removed, of course, then he will be wherever he ends up on track. Or where he deserves to be, of course, not those penalties. Phantom Fox, Ossi, always also on the mediums from the last safety car. Always without a penalty, Phantom and Ossi both with 3 seconds. Then the soft runners, Bombardino, Kuko, Pix, Edwin, Flavors, Bazooka. Pix and Edwin without penalties, so if they move up the field, they can gain quite a bit of places here still. Bombardino, Kuko, Flavors, Bazooka, all with 3 seconds. So they're gonna have a bit of a tougher time, since they also need to build gaps in the cars as they pass. But with those softs, they will have quite a big pace advantage. They shouldn't have too much wear in these last 5 laps. The safety car has been called in. And this time, it is Sully who leads it back into the final corner, followed by Gabri, then Piscioli in 3rd. Here we go, hopefully for the last time this race, we restart the race one more time. Sully out the final corner, he hasn't gone just yet. He's waiting, 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 now he's gone! And he's caught Gabri off guard, and Sully very much so is going to keep the lead into turn 1. No movement in behind as well. We've got Lanky Brown being attacked by 3 other cars down towards turn 1. Marcelio up into 5th, Phantom into 6th, Lanky Brown up to 7th. As Ossi Dry is also trying to make a move on him down towards the S section, but too risky, has to back out. There's a crash in behind. We've got a virtual safety car for Alwise, and we've got some more wing damage as well. That's Bombardino with a broken wing. The VSC deployed, and a full safety car deployed. I can see it coming up the pit lane. Another full safety car. What is going on in this Grand Prix? Always has lost its entire front wing. Another. Well, it still says virtual. And now Always gets a drive-through penalty for speeding under a safety car. With a... How has he even managed to speed with a left front wing like that? That's actually impressive. It still says virtual safety car, but if you see the track map, you can see the yellow dot right after the chicane in turn 2. And Always gets... He's gotten 2 drive-through penalties now for speeding under safety car. How is he doing this? Just keep the delta, mate. Or is something broken? I can't tell. But yeah, Always race with 2 drive-through penalties, I think maybe firmly done here. But another safety car, seriously, how many safety cars have we had by now? Of course, that means less time for anyone to make moves. We've got about 3 corners into the race before the safety car deployed. It's still saying virtual on the top left, even though there is very clearly a safety car on track after turn 2. At this point, it's worrying me that this might be a glitch. I mean, we're on board with Sully now, we can see it, surely. Yeah, there it is, there's a safety car. Can I get it, like... It's always now with tires in the race, in the pit lane. That's his race done. Let me just, I don't know, try and like scroll through here, see if it does anything. Still saying virtual top left. I mean, very clearly we are not under a virtual safety car game. That safety car I see up ahead of Sully looks very real. I mean, I suppose we are in a video game, so all safety cars are virtual if we're going there. But I hope it does fix itself and it isn't broken anyway here. A little bit worrying, but I hope it's just a visual glitch in the top left saying virtual even though it's a real one. And that we get underway eventually. Safety car hopefully will be called in at the end of this lap, if not the end of next lap, and then we can go racing. Hopefully for the final time today. It really is about time that we just get some green flag running and a nice battle between Sully, Gabri and Piscivoli for the win here in Saudi Arabia. I mean, we've had so many safety cars, even though we've only actually had 3 cars DNF. We've just gotten safety cars for everything pretty much, it feels like. For every small front wing loss, there seems to have been a safety car, which I think made it look a bit worse than it actually was today, in terms of the driving standards, because we still have 14 cars left in the race, from the 17 that started. Of course, I think Sean in Action when he only wants to actually crash out on track, always did retire in the pit lane, with his 2 drive-through penalties there at the end. So yeah, safety car staying out for hopefully only 1 more lap, and we can go racing at the end of lap 23, and we'll have 2 laps of running right at the end of the Grand Prix. A 2-lap sprint at the end. Bazooka is in the pits again. What's that, like a 6 pit stop at this point? He does go into soft once again. Yeah, 6 pit stops. Jesus Christ. The thing here is that there will only be 1 lap of DRS. So it might be a case of Gabri trying to stick behind Sully until lap 25, because he doesn't have enough time to really build a gap if he goes to the move earlier. And Sully needs to try and conserve all of his ERS for that last lap. Perceivably, he might be actually in a very good position here with sitting in 3rd place. You can just kind of see how it plays out, see if the guys ahead crash, wait for the last lap when the DRS is enabled, and fly past them both. For sure it's going to be a very, very interesting last 2 laps of this Grand Prix. The soft runners, I think they were screwed by the safety car quite a bit. They just simply will not have enough laps to really make up in a lot of places in this race anymore. So we are looking at a 3-way battle for the win. Arsenio in 6th place, next car without a penalty. I think he won't mind me saying pace-wise he's not really in contention. And of course there are 2 cars in the way as well, which are going to hinder him from fighting for the win. Next car without a penalty is in 11th in Pix, and then Edwin in 13th. Of course they do have softs, but that is just too many cars to try and overtake within 2 laps. Safety car has been called in, now it does actually say safety car top left. And Sully, hopefully, well, this time, definitely the final time, the safety car comes in and we'll get our race. Through the final corner we go. Where is Sully going to decide to go? As we come onto the main straight, he's going to wait for... Oh, he's just gone! And he's caught not just me, but Gabri off guard somewhat. Gabri is a lot closer than last time though, not close enough for a move into turn 1. Raul and Phantom Fox are side by side down towards turn 1 though, and of course they both have 3-second penalties, so this is for position. And Phantom Fox goes around the outside, turns the inside for the second part. Raul trying to hold on around the outside. Does he have a better exit? Coming down towards the S section. Phantom Fox pulls ahead. Phantom Fox up into 4th place there. And at the front, no change. Sully, Gabri, Piscivoli. And they are now setting up for this last lap battle. Piscivoli really close behind Gabri here. Time penalty for Edwin there right at the end. 3 seconds added to his final race time as he gets his 3rd warning of the Grand Prix. Piscivoli is practically pushing Gabri through the corners here. Gabri is leaving a bit more of a gap. And he's conserving quite a bit of energy there as well. Of course, it's all about that last lap here. It is so easy to make that move later. And Aussie with a crash on the second to last lap of the race. Very unfortunate there. And that means he will not get any points in this race. As Pix and Kuka are battling over 8, but we have to stay on the battle for the race lead here because Gabri has gone for the move. Gabri is taking the lead of the race before DRS gets enabled. He sent it up the inside of that fast left-hander. I said in qualifying already, it's not really much of a take opportunity because you have 2 DRS zones right after. It's such a fast corner, such a tight corner. But still, Gabri went for it and he's in the lead now with only 1 lap remaining. Can he hold on? DRS will now be enabled. Piscivoli and Sully swapping in behind as well. Piscivoli looking for a gap to get involved in this battle for the win. Sully covering off the outside line, and we all stay unchanged into turn 1. But of course, it's all about those final DRS straights. The run from the final corner, the run down to the line. This race is so far from over. It's unbelievable, the battle that we're seeing. Of course, Phantom Fox and Ryra are right behind as well, but they do have penalties, so they are not massively in contention. Sully saving so much ES. He's leaving quite a bit of a gap to Gabri. He needs to be careful that Piscivoli doesn't overtake him through here, because Piscivoli is all over the back of Sully, and of course, he has all the reason to overtake, because even if he stays behind, doesn't change anything, he will have DRS either way. So, down towards the DRS zones, here we go, for the last time in this Grand Prix, and it's all on the line. Gabri and Sully, 2 of our main championship contenders. Piscivoli with a great exit, and he might take 2nd place from Sully here. No, he doesn't. He's opting out of the move. Oh my goodness, what am I looking at? This is absolutely insane. Sully is practically pushing Gabri through here, and I think Gabri is very much under pressure in the final corner. He's had a great exit though. Pulled away that little bit, but as we go into the final corner, Gabri covers the inside line. Sully goes to the inside. Now, Piscivoli up the inside. 3 winds in the final corner. Piscivoli takes the lead of the race, but he's a terrible exit, and Sully comes out the final corner ahead. Piscivoli does with the ES down to the line. Can he reclaim the lead of the race? They're side by side over the line. Piscivoli takes the win. What a Grand Prix it has been. 22,000 in the end, separating Piscivoli and Sully. Oh my goodness. Gabri comes home to claim 3rd place in the end, starting the final lap, starting the final 2 DRS zones in 1st. Phantom Fox coming home in 4th, Disarrow in 5th, Mostellio only 85,000 behind Disarrow there after the penalties. What a last lap that was. Absolutely beautiful stuff. And that was so worth the wait of all of those safety cars. One hell of a Grand Prix it has been. Very quiet stages, safety car running, but that last lap was so worth it. Piscivoli beating Sully to the line, and it claims the win. Sully extending his lead at the front of the Drivers' World Championship, ahead of Sean, ahead of Gabri. Gabri moving back up to 2nd place, but the lead that Sully has is growing and growing. But today, Piscivoli is your man, your winner here in Saudi Arabia. And I said, in 3rd place, he set up very nicely. Gabri went for the move a lap too early, maybe? Not opting to have a DRS in the last lap, but rather going for such a risky move up the inside of the fast left-hander there. And I don't think we're going to result screen. The game is unfortunately not going to load in time, it seems. So yeah, but I hope... I did have the results on stream as well earlier, so I can't read them all out more now, but I'm going to have them for the standings, so it's fine. Timer's up. There we go, yeah. No result screen, unfortunately. The game is being Codemasters E, as always. Wow. Just wow. What do I say about that race? That was one hell of a battle on the final lap to the line. And some absolutely beautiful racing between Gabri, Sully, and PC Winnie. And that is still just what Division 2 is all about for me. Thank you all so much for being here today with me, for watching this race. I hope you enjoyed it. I very much believe you enjoyed that. I think if you didn't enjoy that, racing might be the wrong sport for you. I don't think you actually care. Wow. Yeah, our next race, of course, will be in 7 days from now. The Las Vegas Grand Prix, the US Grand Prix in Las Vegas. It's always 7:30 p.m. UK time. On Wednesdays for Division 2. And of course, this Saturday as well, a US Grand Prix in Division 1 at Las Vegas at 7:30 p.m. UK time. I hope to see you for those races. And yeah, once again, thank you all so much for watching. Have a nice evening, and goodbye.